Hi everyone. Kerno agast in earth. For those of you who do not know what that means welcome to Cornwall. And as I think the first Cornish person to be on stage today? Yes? Yeah. You're not Cornish, are you? No? No? Okay, cool. I thought I should start by welcoming you all to our fine county. I had been challenged to do the entire presentation in my Cornish accent, but as I speak a bit slower this way, we don't have enough time, so I'm going to stay in the English accent for today. Several of you will have seen me present before. Usually I'm focusing on one marketing method. Today I want to do something a bit different. I want to talk about something which I think is one of the most powerful opportunities in e-commerce that we have at the moment, which is going niche. So I'm going to talk about the power of niche today, and this is something I'm really, really excited about, and it affects your business from one end to the other, right the way from your strategy and your people right the way through to the end marketing and your products. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So let me explain a little bit more about who I am. I've been working in the e-commerce world since 2001. I've worked for many e-commerce businesses. I've seen them fail. There's at least 4 on that board behind me which have failed in fantastic style. And I've seen them really succeed. And what's frustrated me throughout all of that time is watching businesses who have doggedly pursued a strategy that was clearly a waste of time, energy and effort because they're in such a new arena. They didn't know, they didn't learn that, and no one was there to help them understand that they shouldn't be wasting their time and effort in that way. And also businesses who just weren't doing something that to me is blindingly obvious. So things like a couple of years ago I had a conversation with someone who had a business. They had 40,000 email addresses, but they weren't emailing them because the boss thought all emails were spam. And anyone who's got a mailing list of 40,000 email addresses will know quite how much money you can get out of those 40,000 people. So, having ranted about this many times, last year I decided it was time to put my money where my mouth was and stop complaining that no one had a blueprint to follow and to write the eCommerce MasterPlan. So all of this wasted time effort led to eCommerce MasterPlan. The other thing I've been doing for the last 6 years is running Indium Online, which is my marketing agency. Matt is here from Indium Online today if anyone wants to talk about that. But that is most definitely enough about me. So, niche. Niche is not new. This is a lovely guy called Michael Porter, who is a Harvard professor. And in 1980, Michael Porter wrote this book called Competitive Strategy, which identified 3 strategies that are core to business success. So we have cost, differentiation and niche. So what I'm talking to you about today is not new. It's been around as long as I've been alive. Okay? So it's not new, but it is now becoming very, very powerful due to the way the internet works, due to the way that people are now buying, consumers are buying and business is now operating, how the retail sector is now working. So I'm going to explain to you exactly how that's evolved and what niche means. That's what I'm going to take you through today and give you some great case studies, and I'm also then going to say a little bit about how you can bring that back into your business. If you have any questions as we go through, please do raise your hand and interrupt me. That is perfectly fine. I'm more than willing to take interruptions. So what can niche mean? For me, there are 3 key ways in which a business can focus on niche. The first is customer base. So you can target a really key niche customer base. You can target sea fishermen who go after sharks. Yeah, that's a pretty niche customer segment, and you can serve them really, really well. You can go after niche branding. So you can be the brand who embody a certain style or a certain way of life to attract your customers through to you. Or you can go niche in product, in which case you only sell a certain type of product, and that quite often fits very well with brands. Now this third one, the product range part, is the piece which is really, really powerful in e-commerce. Incredibly powerful in e-commerce if you focus on one product range, one type of product, and you sell that product incredibly well. You can leverage all kinds of power from the internet by focusing in on that one type of product. This is the steps that are outlined in the book, and this is one of the reasons I think, just to prove to you how important I think product range is, there's an entire chapter on it in the book. So if you want to, if the half hour I've got to speak to you about this is not enough for you today, then you can read more about it in the book. The product range scale goes from niche through to department store. And what I mean by product range scale is not the number of products you stock. I mean the variety of products you stock. So down here at the niche end, we have a business such as Classic Sailing, brilliant Cornish business. They sell sailing holidays. That's all they sell. Just sailing holidays. You can go anywhere around the world on their boats, but all they sell is sailing holidays. They don't sell motorboat holidays. They don't sell cottage holidays. They don't sell hotel holidays. They don't even sell the flights to get you to Argentina to join the boat. You've got to do that bit yourself. They just sell the sailing holiday. Very, very niche product range scale. The far end, you've got Amazon. And Amazon, you can buy anything from Amazon. You can't yet buy sailing holidays, but I swear it's only a matter of time. And Amazon have the power of Amazon's business lies in the fact that you, as a consumer, if you buy from Amazon, almost anything you want to buy online, you will go to Amazon first. The random things I've managed to buy from Amazon because I'm too lazy. I work in e-commerce and I'm too lazy to look at another website, so I just go straight to Amazon and I buy it from them. I probably pay more occasionally for the privilege if it's a really obscure product, but I'll go there first. So at this department store end, your power lies in the size of your customer base. At the niche end, your strategic power lies in the fact you are that product and you know that product and you get it well. One of the problems in the mail order industry is that a lot of traditional mail order businesses sit slap bang in the middle. And so they've got lots of different types of products. I've put Pastimes up because I used to work at Pastimes, so I know them quite well, as did Andrew actually. Different periods in Pastimes history, but we did both work there. Pastimes sold mugs, books, furniture, a very vast and diverse product range, but they didn't sell enough or have a big enough customer base to be Amazon. You couldn't buy anything from them, you could only buy certain things from them. They certainly weren't down at the niche end, although they did have a very niche brand. And one of the reasons why Pastimes lost its way is because the products no longer fitted with the brand ideal, so the customers disappeared. I'm shorthanding massively. I could do a very long presentation on my theories of this about this company, but so they were in the middle, and the only way you can survive in the middle is if you've got a fantastic brand, really fantastic brand, and everything you do meets up with that brand. And being in the middle and getting that brand idea across, very, very easy in the catalogue world, because you can have a lovely spread about all your medieval products, which go from some jewellery to a desk to a floor runner to a book, but you try and put that on a website, it's a nightmare. You know, you go to websites and you click on homewares, which is a wonderfully amorphous title for a category, and then you go down into mugs and you find one mug. That does you no favours online at all, because people search, the internet works on keywords, and you can't, if you've only got one mug, you're never going to sell that many online unless you're doing some other form of marketing to get them there. So if you sit in the middle, you've got a very hard game to play unless you've got a very, very strong brand. Anyone got any questions about it? Because it's quite fundamental to what I'm talking about today. Did that make sense? Yeah. Yeah? Excellent, cool. Who in here is familiar with Worldstores? 1, 2, 3? Gosh, 4. Okay, Worldstores is a very, very cool company. They are an ECMOD award winner as well, I think. A couple of years ago they got the ECMOD award. Worldstores was founded in 2007 by 2 search marketers who knew nothing about delivering products to market and getting products to the consumer. And they last year, they had a £60 million turnover. They process over 1,200 orders a day, and in December 2012, they had 500,000 products they were selling, and their aim is by the end of 2013 to have 1 million products, 1 million units that they sell. Now, as a lot of you in this room don't know what they sell, you will be very surprised to learn that the products they sell are beds and mattresses and barbecues and trampolines. Yeah, they do trampolines. And they do sheds, garden sheds. They do really tough to sell online products, tough to deliver online products, and they deliver almost all of them within 24 hours of you placing that order. And the back-end systems they do to manage to do this direct dispatch are a whole other world of impressiveness. But the reason I bring them up today is because why they're niche, despite the fact they sell all of this, is because this is a list of all their websites. And let me just zoom in on that for you. This is why they're niche. They don't have a website for beds and a website for mattresses. They have a website for metal beds and another website for leather beds and a third website for children's beds. They even have a website for cabin beds and for guest beds, because they're harnessing the power of the internet to go niche and to own those keywords, essentially, and then to provide precisely the right product range for the customers searching for that product. You're searching for a guest bed, you go onto Guest Beds World, and you will see a fantastic selection of guest beds. If you want a metal bed and you search on Google for metal beds, you'll end up on Metal Beds World and you'll see a fantastic selection of metal beds. You don't have to bother filtering to try and get rid of the wooden beds. They have the products and you will get them within 24 hours. This is where the power of niche becomes very big and becomes very, very powerful. So one of the reasons I'm so excited about it is because you can go very, very niche, and if you get the systems right and the processes right, you can really leverage the power of the internet, the power of the way the consumer world is now moving. And Worldstores is just the best example of it. Just flick over page here. So how does the power of the niche product range scale help your business? Well, it affects, as I said at the beginning, it affects absolutely everything you do. It affects your buying, because if you're classic sailing and you're only buying sailing holidays, you have a very small number of suppliers to have to deal with, which means you can focus more time on building the relationships with those suppliers, with getting the right deals from those suppliers, with getting the right product for your customer, with getting the right service for your customers. Merchandising, you've got a much closer range to be merchandising. Your web merchandising becomes a lot easier as well, because you can really get to grips and you have the time to write the detail about those products. It affects everything to do with your business strategy, because it's the real central kernel of your business strategy is selling that product well and selling that small range of products better than anyone else can do it. It affects your cash flow, because your money's spread across fewer products, and also because you're taking fewer risks. You're not going, well, we've got this medieval spread and it would be really great to add a gold necklace in. We've never done gold necklaces before, but hey, let's take a punt on something in fact we know nothing about. You're not doing that. You're building that knowledge, you're building that expertise in your product range. It helps with your marketing. I'm going to tell you quite a lot more about that later, but if you're telling people again and again and again about the same product range, the same values, the same information, not only will they really understand that you are the people to go to for that product, they will also understand and grasp exactly why you're so great about that product, exactly why you really know what you're talking about. Huge opportunities in marketing, especially with the way the internet is these days. And brand. If you really properly focus in on a product range, that's your brand sorted for you. You know, classic sailing don't have to invest a lot in brand awareness because they've invested it in being the best at their products. Worldstores haven't invested anything in brand awareness. Almost none of you, despite them winning an Egmont Award, almost no one in the room knew who they were. Yet they are the biggest retailer of home products in the UK now. They've rewritten the rule book without having to invest anything in their brand, because their brand is actually their products. Really cool. So I'm going to show you actually another Egmont Award winner now. So it focuses everything you do. This is Bureau Direct. Last week before last, they won the award for Best Customer Service, I think it was, at the Egmont Awards. Worthy winners. They sell stationery. A very hard marketplace to operate in online. Because it's very price driven, it's very cutthroat. You know, if you want to go and find the right, if you're trying to buy an A4 lever arch file online, you price compare it and you probably end up buying it on Amazon or Ryman's or Staples if you've got your Staples card. But they're doing very, very well in the stationery sector because they've focused in on, they have a very small product range for a stationery company, a very low number of SKUs, but they focus in on key brands that you probably won't find anywhere else in the UK, but which are innovative, are premium focused, and which they know inside out. And I think there's only about 4 or 5 of them in the team, doing everything from the buying through to the dispatching. But their knowledge of their products is second to none, to the point that if you place an order, if you send them through an email and say, look, I love this pen, but I really wanted it in the stainless steel brush with the XYZ nib, they will almost immediately come back to you and explain that, oh yeah, I've just checked and we've got some of those arriving from Germany on Thursday. Do you want me to hold one for you and I'll send it out? Now, if they were Ryman's, they wouldn't be able to do that because they'd have too many different, they would have Parker and Mont Blanc and XYZ, but they focus in on these key areas. Absolutely fascinating company. So they've taken it through into their product information, their product knowledge. The site is beautiful to shop on because they've got all the information you want about those products. That, of course, helps them out with the SEO side of things. Because they've got such a small team, because they've got such a small product range, keeps their margins low, which means they can offer things like free delivery on orders over £5. I'd like to see all the businesses in the room trying to get down to that level. And they do no quibble returns, so you can order a small notebook for £6, get it sent to you for free, and just send it back, and they'll refund you all the money. That's impressive in the stationery sector, and they're always up for talking to people about it. In terms of their strategy, it's all focused on getting the products right and seeing what comes out of that. They invest a lot of time and effort in making sure they've got the right niche product for their niche audience. And their cataloguers as well. I should have said that at the beginning. So Bureau Direct are a good example of how focusing in on those niche products actually impacts the whole business and really flows through the whole business. The next thing which the power of niche helps you with is, because you're getting all that strategic area right, because all that strategy is focused in on this core niche product range, then you've got your time going further because you're worrying about fewer products, you've got fewer issues cropping up because you've got fewer suppliers. Your customers are more focused in on what they want, so they're causing you fewer issues as well. Your money goes further because every piece of marketing you do is building the same story. You're not spreading those products so far. You've not got so many people because you've not got such a such a diverse portfolio to manage. Your customers understand you faster, and this is hugely powerful in this new age where everyone is going between different screens. I think last night I had 2 mobile. I was watching The Apprentice, and I had 2 mobiles because both of them have different social media networks going on them. And I had my Chrome tablet, my Chromebook opened up, and I had my Kindle Fire on the go. I mean, how little attention was I paying to, quite frankly, anything? And that's not unusual. If you look at the surveys, there are people who are multi-screening all the time, and they will get distracted and they will forget. I know the IMRG publishes numbers every year of the fact that we shop on fewer and fewer websites, partly due to the Amazon effect up here on our product range scale, but also because consumers are short-term. They'll remember the product they bought, but they're unlikely to remember who they bought it from. So if you can really focus in on those products, they can make a much quicker link that stationery, Bureau Direct, sailing holiday, classic sailing. And if they forget, if you're doing the marketing right, you're probably going to come up if they search for the product rather than for your name anyway. Really powerful. You're going to do everything better because you've got less to worry about, less to focus on. You're spreading yourself less thinly, and you're going to get more bang for your buck. So overall, you're just going to get much more impact from what you're doing. If you're talking about stationery every single month, you're going to get a lot more power from that activity than if you talk about stationery this month, mugs the next, jewellery the next, because you're confusing people and they're not able to hold on to that key kernel. So another example, another core Cornish company. I was drinking with these guys last night before The Apprentice, which is probably why I had so many screens on the go. They're a fascinating, really powerful business who have rewritten the rule book on how to market cottages in Cornwall. They don't have one of those big glossy catalogues. They went straight to the online only method. First company in Cornwall to do it, and the rest have been playing catch up for the last 4 years since they did it. They are all about niche. They are purely Cornwall's cottages. They have no interest, and they never will become Devon's cottages. They are all about Cornwall, which means that they're able to offer a fantastic service to their customers. Every single holiday cottage on there, they go and they take all the photos. They write all the blurb. So they go and they take photos of everything. If you ever want to rent a holiday cottage in Cornwall, please use Cornwall Cottages, because literally they photograph every wall almost of the house. It's ridiculous the amount of detail they go into. And because they're focusing in so much, everything they do is all about the SEO impact, the pay-per-click impact, the keyword impact. So there is a reason there is no apostrophe in their logo, in their name of their business, because you can't put an apostrophe in a URL, which is horrendous grammatically. And the number of times we write documents for them, and they're one of our clients at Indium, a number of times we write documents and have to get rid of the apostrophe. It's just jars, but it is their brand doesn't have the apostrophe in it. But not only are they going as niche as just Cornwall's cottages, they also take it to the next level. So they've got quite a few holiday properties in St Maur's. So they've built St Maur's Holidays, which does phenomenally well, because they're focusing in on that one village. Because if you come to Cornwall regularly, you know which village you want to be in. And quite frankly, 2 miles outside the village, it doesn't cut it. And I know that as soon as they've got a few more cottages in a couple of other villages around the area, they're going to be rolling out this village. And they've done Falmouth already, and there's more coming. But it's just a case of building up that network, but the number of cottages. Doing phenomenally well, because they're focusing on that niche, and they are all about the niche. Great content, great copy, big external projects going on around the websites as well. So another example of how niche and really focusing in can make a lot of sense. Many people would build, they're very good on systems, they've got this system. Many people go, oh, we've done it for Cornwall, let's go and do it for Devon. Let's go and do it for Somerset. Let's go and do it for Scotland. Actually, no, there's plenty of growth down here for them to do it and to continue building this model. Very, 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 very clever business. So I did promise you I was going to talk a little bit how the marketing impact helps, and why niche right now is a really good route to go down. The internet works on keywords, and people's attention span is becoming ever shorter. So if you have a website that is purely focused on one set of keywords, it's purely focused on sailing, it's purely focused on fancy dress, it's purely focused on high-end stationery, you're going to be getting much, much more bang from Google and getting there a lot quicker. If every blog you write talks about great holiday cottages in Cornwall, you're going to get a lot more bang from your content marketing than if you're talking about cottages in Cornwall, cottages in Scotland, and so forth. It brings massive clarity to your message, to your customers understanding you quickly, understanding what you're wanting to talk about really quickly. And social media becomes really straightforward, because you don't have to follow so many people to find people to interact with. You can really own that area, really own those topics, and get those keywords being repeated again and again. We all know what Twitter's like. You log on and it's ridiculous. Every 5 minutes there's another 100 tweets to look at. So if you're constantly tweeting about the same topics, because that's what you do, you're going to find you get a lot more interaction, a lot more growth coming through. And overall, it defines your identity. And if you've got that strong identity, which is rooted in your products, rooted in your content, rooted in your search, rooted in your social media, it becomes a lot easier to keep customers coming back to you and to recruit them in the first place. So I have one last example for you, which is classic sailing, which I mentioned a couple of times. And these guys take the content and the search element to the nth degree. I swear, I don't know how they have time to run the business, because they seem to spend their entire time posting awesome photos of them out sailing on Facebook. Never get hold of them. But they write the most amazing blogs, and they take fantastic photographs of them out and about doing things, and they get brilliant interaction. I mean, I swear there are a lot of executives in London who like sailing, and who are, the ones who wear the jumpers that say, I'd rather be in St Maur's on my boat than in the office, or bad day on the water is worth 10 good days in the office or something. All of those guys on a Friday afternoon, they're on Classic Sailing looking at the latest blog that Adam's written, and looking at the latest photos and trying to work out which bit of the world they're going to go around next, be it the Antarctic, the Arctic, the Norwegian fjords, or any of those areas. So they take the social and the content and the search area and they really leverage it all. And they're great at writing content as well, which really helps. So that's my third case study for you. So taking all those businesses, how have they leveraged the power of niche? Well, they've leveraged it through their customer services because they know those products inside and out. They've leveraged it through creating great content on their website, which really helps with their search activity, and they've then taken that content and spread it via social media. They're building a very loyal customer base because they're customers who understand that they are experts in their field. They really know what they're talking about. The product range has become the brand. If your product range is your brand, it's considerably cheaper to build that brand than if you're going for an amorphous identity. They're award-winning. Most of those businesses have won, I think all of those businesses have won awards because they're growing at double-digit numbers because they are focusing and they are playing the strategic game very well. And it's so powerful. So how can you hear businesses in this room who, some of you might be going, oh God, we're really in the middle, or you might be thinking, wow, we're niche, but we're not leveraging off it. Well, hold on, wrong page. If you're not niche, then look at your existing product range and see, are there things we should be, well, actually, if you're not niche and you don't have a very strong brand, so you're somewhere in the middle and you're not that massive brand identifier, how can you take the product ranges you've got and focus in on the one that's your core competence, the one that you want to talk about again and again? Or should you go down the Worldstores route or even the Cornwall Cottages route where you start satellite websites that focus in on those key areas? That's one of the options open to you. And for example, Bureau Direct, they do sell refills for pens and refills for retractable pencils, but you won't see them talking about it anywhere. So it's a very useful product to sell, but it's not the one they focus on. It's not where their strategic focus is. If you can't do that and you're in the middle, potentially you need to have a really serious strategic rethink about how your brand functions and how the business should be structured to make sure that you're going to continue growing and continue working well as the industry is only going to move more in this direction. We're going to see much more polarisation of businesses. If you're down at the niche end, excellent. More content, make sure your keywords are right, and really stick to your guns. Don't be distracted by, oh, maybe we should start doing cottages in Devon. Stick there, own your space, and really focus on getting it as good as you can. Because it's going to give you the cheapest, easiest customer acquisition, and it's going to give you greater repeat purchase because customers get you.